Oh, hello. It's all official now.
Yeah, you're still not allowed to swear.
So,
Who's she anyway?
so
What?
Andrew's basically said that we're not allowed to swear on this podcast. I think I'll be the first one to swear on the podcast, if I'm honest.
It's either you or
Um,
me.
so we're just four blokes, as the intro says, four blokes who just want to talk about football. We talk about football in a text chat every single day, so we thought we may as well bring it to a video. Um, I think the first kind of topic is probably going to be Liverpool. I think that's probably the most relevant at the moment. We could talk about Arsenal, but I think the 9-2 up on aggregate, so I don't think there's a
Yeah, they're doing all
lot of loads of talking about Arsenal at the moment. But so Darren, you're our resident Liverpool fan, so tell me about Liverpool last night. Tell me what happened.
I thought, as I spoke to you all on Monday night, I personally wasn't that nervous about last night. I didn't think we would be as poor as we was the previous week. And I thought we'd dominate the ball more, which I think over all the 90 minutes, we did dominate it more than we did last week, but we still didn't dominate it like we usually do. And that's down to Paris Saint-Germain. I thought their energy levels were better than ours. I thought everything about them. If I'm being honest, I had a thought last night as I was watching it, and it was like watching Liverpool in blue, because that's how we played against teams all season. We've outfought them. We've had more energy. We've had the better play, and it was like watching ourselves, but in a blue kit. That's how I sort of visualised it last night. We all know we was lucky to go into the tie 1-0 up. And at the time of when they scored, Liverpool were dominating the play. But as soon as they scored, it was you actually messaged me and said, "How's your nails and how's your nerves?" And from minute one, there was always going to be on the edge, like, and I couldn't see us getting a goal. I just couldn't see us scoring that goal. So going to penalties, Liverpool historically are fairly good at penalties. They're normally quite lucky. I think, I don't know the full facts. I think something out of 7 out of 9 they've won or something stupid like that. But I just knew that the penalties. I just had that feeling the penalties weren't going to do us any favours either. We lost the toss. We went and played down at the Anfield Road end, so we took the penalties in front of their fans. We didn't win the toss to get the first penalty, which is always quite important. And then we took the 3 of our best penalty takers off. So, yeah,
I, I,
overall.
I can't overly talk about last night's game because I didn't really watch it because I was watching Oldham v Eastleigh, which in my mind was a bigger game, but
Oh, massive.
massive. But I did. I watched the last. I think I watched the last 10 minutes of the first half, and I watched the last 10 minutes of the second half in extra time. And to be fair, from what I'd read earlier, was Liverpool were all over Paris Saint-Germain, but then from what I saw, it Liverpool kind of lost their legs a little bit, didn't they? In the second, in especially in extra time.
Definitely. Definitely.
Um, and
Definitely.
and we've had a bit of banter between us all about Nunes. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think I have, and I also don't think Jota's good enough. And I'll probably get people who will tell me he's a great finisher and all that, but I don't think he does enough either, especially in games like that, like yesterday and the week before, which I did watch, was when you need somebody who is gonna keep hold of the ball. I don't think either of them are that person.
Yeah.
And you know, Nunez's penalty was shit, wasn't it? So,
Wasn't
so
that good, was it?
it comes back to roost. It kind of
As soon
was
as
it a
soon
shit,
as he
was
as
it a
soon as
shit
he walked up,
penalty or was it a good save?
it was a shit penalty.
shit penalty.
Shit penalty. We've just obviously before we started, we was discussing penalties. And for me, it should always favour the penalty taker, not the goalkeeper. Because you look at someone like Mo Salah, and if you hit that ball hard enough, even if I know he's got a good reputation, that keeper from Paris Saint-Germain. He's got a good reputation, and I think he saved a few against England.
He did
Italy.
England in 21, didn't he? So
Yeah. So
Nice.
he's good. He's a good keeper for penalties, but I believe you hit it hard enough, and he's not getting there. And there was no. I just didn't feel comfortable. As soon as he picked the ball up, I didn't feel comfortable that he was going to convert that penalty anyway.
Like you say, Daz, you know when you look at penalties, I mean, Salah is always predominantly smashing it. If you're facing goal, he's always smashing it to the left every time, and he hits it hard. Every first penalty he takes, it's pretty much always to the left.
The majority ones
are. I don't know how Donnarumma didn't get to it.
For Salah, your majority, you're not far off. But if you look at his stats, I think before he took his penalty before last night, it was something like the last 6, and it was like 2 in one corner, 2 in the other corner, 1 straight down the middle. So he is a little bit.
He played Western at Southampton. First one left, second right.
Yeah.
When he went to Penos, I was watching it with Xander, and I said, Liverpool aren't winning this. I think the keeper was. I don't like him, but I think he's awesome. And I thought, Liverpool ain't going through now. And I knew Nunes was never going to score. Never in a million years. When he stepped up, the whole crowd went, "Oh." Everyone went, "Oh."
It's that confidence thing, isn't it? He's lacking his confidence. You can see. But then again, the
goal
he's
lacking in fucking talent. That's what he's lacking in.
You know what?
You swore.
Damn it.
Do you know what? We've had this all season with me and you, and even me and Andy's had these conversations. I genuinely, at the beginning of the season, we was questioning it, and I said, I think he will come good. And we're now coming to the end of the season, and I'm eating my words. He ain't come good. He's not going to come good. I think Liverpool is just going to be a club too far for him for whatever reason. I can remember years back, can't remember the year, we signed Morientes. And I was so excited about signing him. And it was like Diego Forlan for Man United. He just could not hit a barn door. Morientes scored goals for fun. He comes to Liverpool, couldn't hit a barn door. Pardon?
Quality player.
Yeah, but he couldn't score for trophy. Couldn't score for Liverpool.
That happens at every level.
I'll tell you what, you go into that examination, look at Torres. Quality for absolute God for Liverpool. Went to Chelsea, dross.
Do you know what? With that one though, mate, he was turning dross 6 months before he left Liverpool. What people don't look at, I mean, obviously a Liverpool supporter, I see this, but he was losing it. I think that's one of the reasons why Liverpool sold him, because he was starting to fade then.
They got 50 million for him, though, didn't they?
Yeah, got good money for him.
Deal.
Absolutely. Spent it on Nunes, which is amazing. Great.
Slightly different era, but yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
Business that.
It does happen. It happens at every level. It happens at every level where you sign a player with a good reputation, and the club or the expectation or the furore around it is too big for them, and they can't handle it. It happens in the National League. We sign players with good older. I'm not being. It's very different, but they're still the same. Is that we've signed players from like non-league coming up to where Oldham are, and the club's too big for them. Can't handle playing at home. I know we're playing in front of 6,500 or whatever, but people can't play that. Can't play in it.
Well, you look at Lincoln. I mean, Lincoln's average turnout between about 8,000, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
I think clubs fit players as much as players fit clubs. I agree with the Nunes thing. I think it's a club too far. I think it's he's not good. It just isn't good enough. It just hasn't got he's got traits, as in he's athletic.
You've admitted it at last.
Oh no, he is, but he has got traits. But and just to kind of put it in, like Oldham have got a player called Mike Fondop, and we could talk about this because I'm because I watch him every week. Mike Fondop's our leading goal scorer. I think he's got 15 this year, and he's about 4th in the league goal scorers. But he's a terrible footballer. But he is. He's just a terrible footballer. So if you actually watched him on his and there's this massive debate with Oldham fans. Like for me, I want to see a footballer who can score goals. He's just like a battering ram. That's basically what he is. He's a big fella, and he's a battering ram. But is it worth 15 goals a year, or I don't like? It's that debate because honestly, he's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, well, I played with players who how you're describing him. Terrible footballer, no touch, had pace, strength, but God, he knew where the onion bag was. So when you've got a player who scores goals, he's valuable. Whether he can, you know what I mean? And I get what you're saying. He's a terrible footballer, but when you're scoring goals win games. You can have 9 other players around him to do the other bits. One player you get away with. If you've got 2 or 3 of them, then you don't get away with it. But one player you can allow, in my opinion, you can allow to have that one bad player. But if he's banging in goals, he's not a bad player. He's just not.
He is a bad player. He is garbage.
That's honestly, he's a bad player.
Oh mate, honestly, he is horrific.
His touch is bad. He's a big bloke. His hold-up plays rubbish.
The Oldham fans, because of what we've been through, and where we've been, but where we've actually come from, where we've basically weeks away from going out of existence. So he's probably the first player which has got a bit of a cult status, and he is Rammel. Oh, he's Rammel, and
he's garbage, but he scores.
He does score, but he misses hell of a lot.
Yeah, he does.
And
he's
Andy Cole. What a player!
He's not Andy Cole.
He's not Andy Cole.
No, I appreciate that.
That was always his thing, wasn't it?
Andy Cole needed 10 chances to score 1 goal. His stats are up there. His goal scoring record's up there. You can't fault him. But he needed 10 chances to score 1 goal. He was lucky he played in teams that created 10 or more chances a game. Yeah. If you're playing for a team that's creating 2-3 chances a game, you're limiting your goal scoring opportunities, aren't you?
Yeah.
Whereas you look at when, he played in Man United's side that was, they had so many decent players that could create goals and goal opportunities for him. But his stats are up there. He wasn't a bad player, by the way. Don't get me wrong.
No.
I can remember playing against him.
I saw him say the other day that he thinks he said that Fowler was the best finisher he ever saw.
Oh, mate, pound for pound, that's a lot of people in my generation's opinion. He was the best finisher, better than Shearer, better than all of them. But he didn't have Shearer's attributes, what Shearer could give. And he was. I nearly swore then, Andy.
You can swear. You can swear.
He was.
Blokes do when they talk about football, they swear.
He was turned over by Gerard Houllier. He should have had more games under Gerard Houllier, and he kept saying he was injured, and he was just dropping him, and then he eventually sold him. So he just didn't connect with Gerard Houllier for whatever reason. But he screwed him over.
We had a lad play football for us, and can you remember his snorting the line celebration?
Yeah.
We played a cup final down at Sinsel Bank, and obviously all the parents, mums, dads, brothers, sisters, everybody came for this cup final, and the stand. So the opposite stand to where the stand on your right, not the co-op stand, the other one. That's where everybody stand. That's where everybody sat, and he scored a penalty, wasn't it? He scored the winning penalty in the cup final and did that celebration on the line in front of the stand. I'm not going to say his name. There is a video out there of it. So, but yeah, this is funny. Just when you think of our Arsenal getting on,
Still 2-1.
Still 2-1.
But going back to your
Tell you
original,
what, it's
going
interesting
back
now
to
because
your
Atletico have
original
got a goal back, haven't they
question
now? So
of
it's 2-2. Sorry.
going back to your original question, Chris, reference to Nunes. I watched him last night when he came on, and I tell you what, he looked lost because he actually he just looked round as if he didn't know where to be. You know, surely tactically they're on the pitch week in, week out, day in, day out, whatever. But he just looked lost. You could see him looking around for where do I
Highlight. I'll
want
tell you
to
what,
be?
Daz, you know what he said there? Do you remember that ball that got played, wasn't it? Where he was charging through. I think he was just offside though. But then he turned around and just stopped, and he saw Diaz was there, and then he just stopped.
Yeah,
And then they both just looked at each other, was like, well, I thought you were going for it. No, you're.
yeah.
And it was like,
Communication's terrible.
What was Salah like last night? Because I thought, is it Mendes?
A lot,
Is it Mendes,
better, but he's
fullback?
still in Mendes's pocket, but he was
Is
a lot
he?
better. He had
Has he
more
got him?
opportunities.
He must have still been in there from the first game. Didn't get a sniff, did he?
I tell you, a player who looked really good for PSG, and that's that Barcola. Is it Barcola?
Yeah, they're good, aren't they? They're
They're just good all
players.
round,
good to
aren't they?
watch
Everywhere
them,
on
aren't
the
they?
pitch. They,
Really
they,
good.
they was the best side all round the pitch, all round every position. Salah was going back to Salah. Salah was probably he was better. He had chances. He had a couple of good chances, and he was better. But Mendes still had him in his pocket. He still had him for 90% of the game.
Yeah. Is he signing a contract?
Who, Salah?
Yeah.
Beat me
I
too,
don't
Chris.
think any of them three will.
You think all three gone?
Interesting.
I think all three will go. The only one I'm
I've heard
questioning.
Van Dijk's on his way.
Yeah, well, I think the thing I like about Liverpool is they do all their business very quiet and very secretive. They don't splash about, and they've been like that for quite a few years. And there's players come in that I hadn't even heard of or thought, bloody hell, where's that one come from? And they've been very secretive with it all. So I think the only one I'm questioning is maybe Trent.
Well, apparently, I saw earlier Trent from the Times. Apparently, Madrid have actually submitted a bid now.
Have they?
Well, that's what I just saw online. Obviously,
Well,
the great thing about online rumors is obviously it means nothing. But
putting a bid in's no good though. It's free transfer, isn't it? So
What
they're bidding for?
But yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's that case of that pre-con. Well, I don't know. When can they sign a pre-contract? How does that work?
Now,
isn't
now
it?
they
Yeah.
can
Do
do
it
it
now.
now.
Unless it's done now. Well, there won't be a compensation fee, would there? Obviously.
Didn't talk. Do you listen to Talk Shy in the day?
No.
Sometimes, not very often.
I can't deal with Kunde and O'Hara.
No, but didn't they say
Hara's
that
a dick. Kundi's just a fucking. He's just.
Isabella
I
didn't
can't explain what Kundi is.
didn't
Similar to his name, possibly.
Didn't Talksport say that Van Dijk came out and said that he's got no contract. He's had no contract put in front of him or anything from Liverpool.
See, I
don't think any of them
heard
have.
slightly different. I heard that two had signed and one hasn't, and
I heard that.
they don't want to announce the two that have signed and not the one that hasn't, because that one that hasn't obviously will get hammered for not signing.
I've heard a similar sort of thing to that. That's a couple of weeks back, into Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had heard something similar along them lines.
Which makes sense, doesn't it? I suppose.
He was quiet last night in his interview, wasn't he? It was all hush hush.
So Daz, who would you keep 2 of the 3?
Oh. Do you know what? The big one I probably would let go is probably Trent.
He's the least influential in your team.
Pardon?
He's the least influential in your team.
And we've got Connor Bradley.
Yeah.
And that's what. But for me, it's like when the problem is, I've always had this opinion of like you said about Darwin Núñez. Don't ever judge a player until they've left. Don't ever judge a manager until they've left. So, you can all the will in the world you're on about your big lad up front until he's left. You can't
Tomorrow.
I'd drop him off, to be
you
fair.
drive him to wherever you wanted him to go.
Mate,
But you can't judge him until they've left. He might leave your club having scored, I don't know, say 50 to 60 goals in 100 appearances.
600
That
appearances.
as stats. That as stats is good going, isn't it? But no, seriously, I like Trent. I think he's we can't knock his passing ability and all the rest of it. And I think, to be fair, under Slot, his defending's got better. But I wouldn't be nervous with Trent going, because I think Conor Bradley's
It couldn't
he
get
comes
worse
in
now,
and
so
he's never let
because
Liverpool down. Got what?
it couldn't get worse. Could it?
He's a better defender. He's a better defender by a long shot. Conor Bradley is. But then Salah goes, and who gets you goals? But Ian Rush left, Kenny Dalglish left, Suarez left, Torres left. You
you ended up with
big
Nunes
clubs normally draw.
and Andy Carroll.
and Andy Carroll. Yeah,
Hey, don't you knock Andy Carroll?
I'd tell you what, I'd take him at Oldham tomorrow. He's playing for Bordeaux, isn't he? In the fourth.
And to be fair, he's basically playing for free.
He's playing for free, isn't he?
Yeah, I'd take him at Oldham tomorrow.
He's paying to play.
Tomorrow, I'd take him at Oldham. Here's a question for you though, James. Right?
Oh God.
Arsenal. Would you have signed Nunes in January at Arsenal?
Ooh.
Mate, I tell you what, you should have signed you in January. You'd have had more chance at fucking winning the league.
You know what, right? So it's a tough one, isn't it? Because obviously, people are saying, "Oh, we don't need striker. We don't." I think we do. I don't think Jesus is the key. That final bit of the puzzle. What you really need to get over the line. I don't think he's that player.
He was never that before he got injured.
Well,
No,
yeah,
He wasn't that at Man City, was he?
You look at the team around him he had at City. Yeah, well, of course he's going to do bits there. But like you look at Arsenal, yeah, we've got a good team. There are a few areas I'd probably strengthen. But a striker would definitely be thing. And one thing I don't understand is that there are free agents there that are out and about on the market. Like, for example, we had Lucas Perez who signed for PSV. We had him prior. But the thing is if it doesn't fit the mold, just all you got to do is give a 6-month contract or whatever, and just say, right, just see what you can do in 6 months. Maybe give an extension there if you do really well, blah blah blah. But it's all about this fit in the mold. I just don't see how. I do and I don't. You know what I mean? Obviously, you're not going to have a bad egg in there, but if it's for 6 months, just basically say you're there for the paycheck. Just
but I think you've needed one for 3 years. Like this isn't.
It's been a while.
A couple of months thing. You needed one since Aubameyang left. Like
that was the player I was trying to think of. Yes,
you've not. I mean,
say I'd agree.
You've not had one since Aubameyang. I think it. Do you know? I think it's like gross negligence. Like,
but that Aubameyang, he was the bad apple, though, wasn't he? He was the bad apple.
No, I know. Yeah. Getting rid of him's fine, but not replacing him in 3 years. And basically, let's be honest, it's cost you 3 league titles. Really? Maybe not cost, but it's cost you thereabouts. Like,
do you know the worst thing is to say this as an Arsenal fan, right? Is the fact that you know exactly where it's going to go here. That it's like the Wenger routine of like top 4's a target just because you're in Europe, so you get the paycheck. That's all you need to worry about. Obviously, yeah, Wenger won a lot of trophies. Lots of obviously more leagues and stuff. Obviously the Invincible thing. Yeah, we can go on about that. And obviously, yeah, we did this, we did that, and people would say, "Oh, yo, you were lucky." Blah blah blah. Teams were shit. End of the day, they were there. The games were won, drawn. We didn't lose. End of the day, that's it. It is what it is, isn't it? But I genuinely do think, yeah, we have lacked. I do think Mikel Arteta. Obviously, you guys hate Mikel.
Yes.
But I don't know. I like him. And I think, and also I think the thing what you have to applaud is it's not a case of we've given him a year and then said, right, see you later. You can't do it. Whereas every other manager is lucky that they're lucky to probably get 6 months to a year, and then they're basically if you don't fit it, then you're off. And I think for us, because we've had it all right, yeah, okay, it's cost us titles, but we're still up there in the top 4. It's just the payday, isn't it? The money comes in through that, and I think that's the way they do it. And anything that comes along, yeah, well done, bonus.
How much of it though is ego? It's like
With who?
Arteta.
Stubbornness.
Everybody's saying the whole world and the whole the whole footballing community saying you need a striker, you need a striker, you need a striker, you need a striker, and it's just it feels to me with the way he is and stuff, it is just
Like
all
fit,
ego.
it has to fit the mold. And I get obviously you have a certain thing, but I'm not being funny. Like you said, I'd rather have someone totally like a donkey up front that gets goals. They don't have to be world class.
Right.
Just put it in front of them to bang it in the bag.
But I think for me, so two things. So the Arteta thing, the reason why I don't like Arteta is I think you have to have won something and won something well and properly to act like Arteta. I think that's why. I think he acts like he's won something and
He has
actually,
Community Shield.
oh yeah, he won the FA Cup like 5 years ago, didn't he? Was that right? Like,
Yeah.
so isn't that brilliant? But I think to act the way he acts, he's got to have won
think
something,
the
and he
ego
hasn't. He's actually
comes from City.
failed at every point since that FA Cup, right?
The
He's
ego comes
not.
from City, clearly, because he's been Pep's little sidekick. And I think it's because he's obviously had the high praises from Pep and that, isn't it? That the fact that maybe he carries that ego into Arsenal. Um,
So just
I like the guy. I think, yeah, okay, do you know what? We've given him a chance. He's doing all right. You know, I like some of the signings we've done. Do you know what? I think the greatest one that we've done was the whole fucking. Remember the Mudrick when all we were, well, yeah, we're going to get Mudrick, we're going to get Mudrick, and I was
yeah,
thinking it's a lot of money, a lot of
sometimes
money.
the best signings you make are the ones you don't
And
make.
then basically we got Trossard.
I like Trossard though.
I like
I
Trossard.
liked when he was at Brighton. I liked him, but he's not gone that next level like I thought he was going
It's
to do.
5'4".
He'd be a good
Josh
player
loves
at
him.
Everton, wouldn't he? Right.
Josh loves Trossard. It's his new hero, Trossard.
He'd be a good player at Everton. That's
Carragher said the other week, didn't he? He said he reckons we've seen the best of Arteta's Arsenal.
It's
Because
a brave comment.
this year, because he said this year is all, he said it's very Mourinho-esque, didn't he?
Yeah.
Set pieces.
Yeah, but Mourinho, well, yeah, but look at Mourinho, what he's won.
I know.
Yeah, but
Can't-
Arteta hasn't won
You
anything.
can't knock it. You can't knock what he's won, but his football went stale.
Yeah.
I know,
He
but
got
he had
found out,
Drogba.
He had Drogba and Lampard.
Drogba was a beast.
Yeah.
I
What
can
a
remember
beast.
watching Drogba, versus Liverpool in the Champions League, not for Chelsea. Who did he come from? Was it Marseille?
Marseille, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I watched him, and I can remember the lad who I went with, my ex-son-in-law Nathan, and I said we need a player like him up front. He battered Carragher all night long, battered him, and I said we need a player like that. Next season he's at Chelsea.
Mm.
He was
Absolute
awesome.
beast.
Yeah.
And what did he do? No.
Yeah. Fuck all.
He did fuck all after that. Yeah. No, it's kind of so going back to penalty shootouts then. So have you ever been in penalty shootouts? Have you guys been in a penalty shootout?
I've been in a few, yeah.
Have you win him
Yeah.
or lose him?
Both. We actually played in it was stupid. We played in
Good sense.
I can't remember the Lincoln League. I think it was the Lincoln League one year, and we was finished top. And the league, for the infamous wisdom, decided that the top two teams was going to play in a playoff. So we ended up having to play in a playoff in a league that we'd already won, and it was against the Lincoln Imp, and they took us to extra time and penalties, and we actually won it on penalties.
Did you? Was it better to win in penalties?
But had you?
No, because we'd already won it.
But so was it like? It wasn't like a decider, was it?
Well, it was,
It
yeah.
was like just
Effectively,
like
it was. We'd already won the league.
Yeah, but was it like a
Effectively
bonus
on
game,
points.
or was it like, oh, because you finished top two, you go into a playoff?
Yeah. So if
How
we'd
did
have
that
lost,
work?
we'd have
Yeah,
lost
can you
the league.
imagine? I bet,
Yeah,
I bet that one. I bet that was a lovely game to play in as well. I bet there was no fighting and writing and
it was a tough game as
yeah,
well. Yeah,
yeah.
you know, but
Jesus.
it was pathetic. It was like, but yeah, it's and we had the same again. We had this bit of a conversation before we actually started recording, and the question was, James, I think you was still putting Josh to bed.
Yeah.
I, would you stand up and take a penalty? Would you put yourself forward for one?
Did
All
you,
day.
did you always do it?
I can't believe you wouldn't, Chris.
No, I never had the. I don't know what it was. It was all mental. Was not
I was
physical
going to say
ability.
it's psychological. It's
It
not
was psychological. I just could not take a penalty. I just couldn't take it. I just couldn't take a penalty. I couldn't. The goalkeeper looked massive. The goal looked small. Honestly, it just. But like I say, then my brother was the best penalty taker I ever saw. Like never missed. Just I've
Andy,
never ever felt even I'm talking even professional footballers, even anything. I've never seen someone, and I will never ever give him compliments ever. Like I will sooner rather rinse him out than give him a compliment. But I never ever
now, Andy.
I was 100% when he stepped up to take a penalty. It's 100%, 100%. But
It's gonna be Sunday League though.
But then the brother who's a lot better footballer than him, like by a mile, like a lot better footballer than him by a long stretch, couldn't take a penalty. So
how big a stretch?
Like massive, like the goal. It's like a goal.
Look at those T-Rex arms.
Yeah, it's like a goal. I think I couldn't take a penalty. No. So it's just interesting. You know, fair play to Nunes for stepping up and taking one, but. Fucking
no. Withdraw that. Fair play to Nunes stepping up.
I tell you what, Nunes stepping up and taking one was brilliant.
No. He stepped up. He didn't take one. He stepped up.
Yeah.
I think it's all, like I say, it's all up here, but I think also it's like having just that belief in it, the fact that I'm going to smash it, and that's it.
So that
I've always looked at it as a penalty.
I think if you actually go into taking it, if someone says, do you want to take a penno? If the first thing that comes through into your mind is, I might miss this, just never take one.
Yeah.
Just you've got to like, oh yeah, I'll just go fucking take it.
What number do you want me?
Merson. Remember in the 98 World Cup against Argentina? You know, the one where Beckham got sent off and it went to penalties.
Yeah.
Merson was brought on to take a penalty, and when they were waiting to take a penalty, Glenn Hoddle came up to him and put his hand on his chest and said, "I believe that you will score." And Merson went, Merson's head went, "What? Yeah, I believe I'm going to score too." Like I didn't know there was a choice. Like
choice in it. Like
yeah. And he said, on my walk up to it, I was thinking, fucking, what if you didn't believe I was going to score? What do you like? Honestly, he said I walked up thinking it. It's funny how it works, isn't it? It's just a mental.
That was one of Hoddle's big things, wasn't it? Psychologically and getting that what's her face in and all the rest of it.
Eileen Drury, fucking.
He's second doubting one of the best players he had
ever. One of the best players England's ever had, like if not the best.
Oh, just. Fucking Eileen Drury. Is that the Ray Parler? You seen the Ray Parler story about Eileen Drury?
No, what's that?
They're all going. You know, Glenn Hoddle wanted them to go and see Eileen Drury and stuff when they're away on camp and stuff. And Ray Parler went in, sat down. He went, "Yeah, just a little bit short back and sides and off the top like that." Apparently, she kicked off.
Fucking hell. But imagine doing that with like us, or do you know, like our era blokes would fucking like today though. Today, I bet it's majorly accepted. I bet people would lap it up nowadays. Yeah. Like it would be a major, you know, you get fucking Gary Neville or Carragher or fucking people like that talking about how amazing it is for these lads to get this stuff. Like I think today's football, and not to go too much on a tangent, but they forget what it is. It's playing football. It's football. They don't. There seems to have been like this blurring of lines of society in football, and and all that. And actually, when it comes to the absolute brass tacks of it, it's a game of football. Like,
I agree. The science of it all and everything. Like you have. I mean, when the first game of the season against, I think it was Brentford. I'm sure it was. I went to watch Liverpool, and I counted, taking Arne Slot away, there was 14 coaches on the pitch.
that's nuts, isn't it?
14 of them. Counted. There was 3 goalkeeping coaches, and then there was the taking the first 11. Then there was taking the subs, and there was 14 people stood on the pitch, and I'm like, yeah, what? You know what I mean? It's like, but and the same again last night. And when you're watching a game, I don't know about you, but certain things go through my head. Under Jurgen Klopp, we had a throw-in specialist.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Throw-in specialist, but statistically, apparently, he gained them and saved them so many points a season through being throw-ins for and throw-ins against, positionally wise, what you do, where you go, what you do. And I don't know if Slot's kept him on or not, but a throw-in specialist.
But
I don't know
football,
how you basically just look at a football days and just analyze the hell out of it and where these different things all fit in just to make it better.
aren't you creating robots now, though? That's what you're creating.
Of course you are. You don't
You're
get that raw
creating
talent
robots.
anymore.
There's no spontaneity. There's no talent anymore. Your talent is
Who's the last one? In my opinion, who's the last one? The last raw player who you can think of off the top of your head, the last raw player that you would say, give him the ball and watch him do his stuff.
it's
It's been knocked out of him.
Got to be Cristiano, hasn't it?
No, Jack Grealish.
Oh yeah, Grealish. Yeah,
When he was at Villa, mate, everything had revolved around him and getting the ball, winning free kicks, dribbling, getting past players. Say again.
You might go back anyway.
shagging.
One, I think.
But Pep's changed his game, and I think he's one. They're all going on about Pep's amazing. He gets the best out of these players. He's ruined Grealish.
Yeah, no,
I think I'd take a gamble on Grealish. I think I'd take him.
Yeah, you probably take
I'll
him,
go.
but he's ruined him, though, hasn't he? He's ruined him.
Yeah, but then you tell him just to rewind, just strip everything back and just be you. Just do what
You
you
can't. For me, you can't wear your socks down by your ankles and wear tiny shin pads if you're going to take 4 touches forward and 4 touches backwards, and then 4 touches forward and 4 touches backwards and 4 touches forward. Like, if you're not willing to take somebody on, you can't wear your socks around your ankles. You just can't do it. Like a goalie wearing it around his ankle, you'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Wouldn't you? I remember it being.
Maybe the fact he's got huge calves.
I remember it being when somebody wore coloured boots. Like somebody wore coloured boots, they'd have to be good, wouldn't they?
Mate, Daz, you definitely were apt to.
Yeah, Daz definitely wore coloured boots first, didn't he?
Do you know what I had? Go on then. We'll go round the circle. What did you have, Chris?
Oh, I had Puma Kings.
Right. What did you have, Andy?
Mundials.
What did you have, James?
I had the Thierry Nikes.
Fuck off!
Right.
There's no way.
Here we go.
There's no way you had.
100% high tech. What did you have, Daz?
I had the same as you, Chris. They're the best boots you will ever
The
wear.
most comfiest boots I ever had.
You
And
walk off a pitch having slippers on your feet.
yeah, I had
Yeah,
I had a pair of white ones as well with a black tongue.
I had the
They
red one.
were
I had a fair few boots, I've got to admit.
Yeah,
they were absolutely.
I went through the whole lot. I had a pair of Kings. I had Mundials.
Speciales.
Speciales. Preds.
Oh, what a goal.
Oh.
Sorry.
Good.
PSV.
Oh.
Oh,
There's another 8 to go.
18-1 or whatever it is.
9-3.
Preds. What else? Oh, a Lotto. Fucking Lotto. They were
I had some
great.
Lottos. They were absolutely quality.
Yeah.
Italian quality as well, wasn't there?
And the worst thing is they were bright white.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Why
I had the
is
black
that?
and
Jomas as well.
green.
Tell you what, I had
Is
some Jomas. They were good.
Joma.
Yeah.
Jonah. They were a bit, yeah, they were just coming on really, Jonah, weren't they?
Yeah,
They
Joma
maybe,
were good. I had some Preds.
but
I had the Adidas F50s.
it was to the point though where I know now we used to play against a team and they'd have a guy who played in yellow boots and he was just known as Yellow Boots Man. Like,
Yeah, it was
because it was
Market
so
Raisins.
weird to see coloured boots that this guy, if you said to him, "Oh, Yellow Boots Man," they'd like the whole team would know who it meant. Like he could be 6 months further on and they'd know who it meant because it was so weird to see coloured boots.
No, Metheringham. There you go.
It was Mevering. Was it Mevering? It was
Was that
Mevering.
when
Yeah, I can
Lee
remember the
got booked
pit.
by Lee got booked by pushing him into a tree?
Did he
There you
punch
go.
Lee in the face? I think he punched Lee in the face, didn't he?
Lee
On
pushed
the
him into a
floor.
tree and got booked. There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's how fun. Sorry, I don't know how we got onto boots, but yeah.
No, there used to be a guy. There used to be a guy in Lincoln that used to do Apta boots. That used to
He
be like
did.
the agent for Apta boots, and they
He
did
did.
like white,
Yeah.
purple, red, green.
Few of
I've
my
never
mates,
had a
few of my
pair.
mates got some like, yeah. He used to supply football kits as well. I'm
Yeah,
trying to think of his name, but he used to supply football kits, and like you say, he got a bit of a sidekick going with Aptors.
yeah. Everyone was wearing Aptas.
Apta.
I bet he made a fucking killing.
Yeah, Apta. Nowadays,
Yeah.
I mean, you can buy them from China.
Yeah, but specific, I tell you what, guys. When you say about the comfiest boots, though, sure you've been through a few boots, but sure, what was you like? So your comfiest boots and your Mondials then?
Puma Kings
Puma
all day
Kings
long.
are incredible, but I'll never.
You know what? I had a pair of I had a pair of Preds. I had the 98 Preds, right? And I got them from no, Adidas, Adidas shop in Donny, and it was like the outlet near the Keep Moat. Mate, they were unreal. Unreal. But no, those if you pay top whack for boots,
What was
they
top what though when you paid?
about 80
I
quid,
think
78
79,
quid.
99, I think
I think I
Yeah.
think my Preds are sorry, my Puma Kings are 80.
I think my
That was top whack.
my
Yeah.
F50s were about 120.
Ooh, that's even
Oh,
now, that's a lot.
yeah.
See, Preds for me, I never tried Preds. I as a kid. This is the next question I was going to ask. What did you have as a kid? As a kid, I had Patrick Kevin Keegan's. I had.
Patrick Kevin Keegan. I don't really remember what I had. I remember having Sunday O'Brien Robson shin pads,
Robson Golds.
Robson Golds.
I think my first ever boots were Night Ones.
Night one.
Night ones, I don't even know what they are. I don't remember what
I think they were the Premier wear. I think when they like sort of the night boots, the six studders, none of this fancy stuff. But they got nicked at school, which is fucking annoying.
Oh, our dad would 100% have got me some proper leather, like
I got right.
That's
I got
that's
some
my
Lotto. I got some Lotto boots, right, from the Northampton Shoe Factory on the Birchwood.
But that's my point, Chris. You've just hit where I was leading, because Puma Kings were proper leather football boots, not thin leather, not thin plastic, not like the Preds with rubber on them. They was proper thick leather football boots, and
yeah,
they
brilliant.
if you looked after them, they looked after you, and they was like walking off a pitch with slippers on.
I nearly bought some because I bought some Preds, about a year ago? I got Preds for a year ago, and I nearly bought some Puma Kings, and I didn't get any because Andrew said I'd look like a referee. He said they're referee boots, so I didn't
They're
get
referee boots now, aren't they? They are, aren't they?
Why did you listen to your big brother?
because the thing is, once he's got it in my head, that's it. And because I fucking hate referees as well. And there's no way I could. There's any referee. I don't care who you are, where you are, what you are. You may be the nicest person in the whole entire world, but if you actually say that you're a referee, that's it. I just hate you.
You know what? I'm trying to think. Most refs I can remember now had Adidas World Cups.
Yeah, the more you than they are me. But yeah, I was going to get some, and then I wasn't allowed to. But I'd get some
Right,
white ones
like-
now. If I get some white ones, I'd get white ones now.
But
I
how
always
hard is
said-
it now? How hard is it now to buy boots? As in, if you wanted a new pair of boots, my feet are wider than they are long.
You got pork chops, haven't you?
Oh, yeah,
I've got,
sorry.
I got like pork chop. They're like, my feet have just gone like that.
First boots
I'll
ever
change
sold
that.
Tempo Pros at 1990, well, like 1995 to like Tempo Pros.
I love the fact that you're Googling them.
Yeah,
Like,
that's it, yeah.
you're gonna... And yeah, I think I had some Nikes as a kid, I think.
Best boots ever that I've had. Nike for comfy because I had wide feet. So basically, the Nikes were just the best.
I think we've all got wide feet.
You watch when
So
you watch when an
here's what-
elephant walks. You watch when an elephant walks, and you see the foot, and it puts the foot down, and it goes. That's exactly what my feet fucking do at the moment. So
Yeah.
those boots that I got, I don't know, they're making them small or whatever. Because I was a 10. I was always a 10, possibly a 10 and a half. The Adidas boots that I've got now are 11 and a half.
So the best ones I've had, like comfort wise, with the Ronaldo boots that I've got, the R10
Ooh.
boots. They were absolute.
Oh. The FBI
Here's
hates
one,
Ronaldo,
one-
didn't
one season, it was half a season actually, because like you were saying before about your boots getting nicked, James.
Yeah.
Mine. I think I lost mine or left them or something like that. But can you remember Gordon Hobson Sports? Would any of you lads remember that?
No.
As in the Lincoln, is he a Lincoln player?
Gordon Hobson played for Lincoln, yeah,
Yeah.
at one point. He played for Southampton as well, but
Yeah.
he had a sports shop in the market. Actually, a shop in the market. And my mate used to work there. And one of the lads I played with on a Sunday, it was his brother-in-law, and he was obviously a partnership. But can you remember Dean West, who played for Lincoln?
Yeah. Burnley.
Well, he moved on, and Dave was supposed to have got his boots and sent them to him. But because he was the same size as me and I lost mine, he gave me him to play him for the rest of the season. And there was night Tiempo.
Wow.
Did you match the boots, Daz?
Oh, all the way.
Where
mate.
did you play? Daz, where did you play? In your pomp? Where did you play?
It was in my pomp, middle of mid.
Centre midfield.
Yeah.
Where did you
When I was
play,
when I was growing up, ironically, when I was youth football all the way to 16s, I was a centre forward, and I always I think out of when I started at under 11s to under 16s, there was only one season I didn't finish league leading goal scorer. But then when I got to men's football, I couldn't saying about hitting a barn door, I couldn't score for toffee. So I went initially went on the right wing, and then I moved into the middle.
And you're 5'3".
Yeah, yeah.
I tell you what, this
In the big lad.
5'3". I used to be able to have a bit of a leap. I was always good at timing the ball for heading and stuff. I had a decent leap.
Where did you play, James?
All over, really.
In your pomp, if somebody had to say, what position are you? What would you say?
Lino.
What would you have said? Lino.
Wow. So basically,
Director of football.
I was centre forward, but then played quite a bit more like right wing, left wing because I could cut back on the right. And then when I played in Worksop, I did a stint in centre mid.
Winger. I started as a winger. I started as a
Mate,
left winger.
Mate, I was rapid,
I wasn't.
funnily enough, but then
No.
well,
I was never rapid. I was a winger.
I used to be quick when I was younger. I was quick. When I was at school, I was quite quick.
The thing for me was I played under 10s at the age of 6. There was none of this fucking under 7 shit now.
Well, see, I didn't get none of that.
See, I played under 10s at 6 years old. So 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old. When it got to 9 years old, I was playing centre half, and I played 4 years of football. So I was then joining my age group, and I was head and shoulders above everybody because I'd played for 4 years. I was winger, then centre half.
But then my first sort of when I was living in France, that's when I started playing football. And then so I moved back when I was about 12.
Were you born there?
So no. I was born in Boyce and Edmonds.
Okay.
Moved over to France when I was about 8, and then moved back when I was about 12.
Whereabouts in France?
So I was about 40 kilometers away from Paris. About what? So it's the little village called Oreillaville. But my dad used to work at Villepinte, and out of the back of his office, you could look across to Paris, and you could see the oh my God, it's gone.
Part de France.
The French stadium, yeah.
Yeah.
So you could see
Paris
that.
Saint-Germain fan.
Huh?
Are you a Paris Saint-Germain fan to create a full circle?
Hey,
Well,
what about
obviously,
you, Andrew? What was your position?
I played left back as a kid and then centre half because I got fat and slow.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure you were. I'm not sure you were ever
Quick as a left
lightning
back.
as a left back. I used
I,
to.
I was always, yeah, they described me as the fucking short Jan Molby and shit like that. But that WhatsApp picture that you obviously all see with a fish in my hand, I caught that in Australia, and I was 29 on that picture.
You look about
So,
12.
oh yeah, I was 29. So I still, how I got the Jan Molby bit, I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder, Daz. I wonder how you got the Jan Molby bit.
I was going to say, I remember getting so excited when I was in France. Obviously, you don't really get to sort of. There wasn't really much football on TV as well. Obviously, English football. Like I remember Arsenal coming to play, and I got so excited, I jumped to my bed and slipped and smashed my face on the wall. So I ended up watching Arsenal play. I think it was. I can't think was it Leon? With basically two tissue papers up my nose, just like Andy has when he has a cold, and that was it.
I'll tell you a story about when we played in there used to be a football tournament for primary schools around like the Lincoln area, and I
just can I ask you a question before you go on, Chris?
yeah.
Why do you two support Oldham? Which is a silly question.
Our dad's from there.
Oh, so you two didn't live up that way
Never
then?
lived there. Yeah, thanks, Dad. Appreciate it. Thank you. We really could have had any team in the world, and we got Oldham, who for the last have not had a promotion since what 91. So yeah, so try work. So that's what 30, 34 years. So
To be fair, you're up there with Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea.
was
all
it?
big
So,
boys.
and that was the thing. When I was 7, 8, 9, 10, we got in the Premier League.
Yeah, but they haven't had a promotion since then either.
No.
Yeah,
You've not been relegated 4 times either. That's the thing,
can
right?
fuck off.
Yeah. We're the longest team with no silverware. We've not even got to we got to the playoffs once.
3 times, twice.
Twice, was it?
Yeah, lost to QPR.
We lost to Blackpool. Yeah, okay. Twice in 30 odd years, we got in the playoffs. Twice. That's how it's been really bad. But going back to my story as a kid, so there was a football tournament in primary school. So all the primary schools would come to our school on a Saturday and we'd play a tournament. So you're talking when you're 8, 9, 10. And when you were at school, I don't know if there's people the same, you'd get your kit the night before and you'd take it home, then you'd have to turn up in your kit. So my dad was with another woman and she had 3 kids, all younger than me. And I stayed at his house the night before his tournament. So wake up in the morning, absolutely fucking buzzing for this tournament because it's like massive thing in your life. And I've got put my kit on, shinnies, socks, and this is like 8 o'clock in the morning. Like I don't have to be there till 10, but I'm getting ready, shinnies, socks, everything, got all my kit on, ready. And I run into the living room. And as I run into this living room, this ball rolls towards me. So I flick it up, volley it as hard as I can into the settee, like run off, like really buzzing. And the little girl, it was her hamster in a ball.
Sorry,
And
shouldn't I laugh there?
No, he just fucked it into a set into
I
the city.
absolutely fucking leathered this ball into the sofa and it killed this girl's hamster. So that's one of my favourite football stories, if I'm honest.
So Zuma's not the first then.
Say again. Zuma's not the first. No, I wasn't. No. Luckily enough, I wasn't caught by Peter doing it. No, Zuma. No, and I fucking leathered this ball as well. And you know, I remember it to this day. I was about 8, and I remember this ball rolling to me and me flicking it and volleying it at the city, and this girl crying because I killed her hamster. Still played in the tournament though, so it wasn't all bad.
Did you enjoy tournament football?
Yeah, I enjoyed. Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I loved everything, training, the lot. I just loved everything about football. I just couldn't get enough of it. Even when I was older, you know, just everything about it. Some people would skive and don't want to train or they won't do. I just loved it. Yeah, everything about
I
it.
fell out of love with it for a long time. I didn't enjoy it. When I just didn't enjoy. Yeah, I stopped enjoying it. There was a lot of pressure when I was a kid, 14, and I stopped enjoying it. Hated it really for a long time. To be fair, it was probably 20 years, maybe 15 years, like kicking a ball when I started coming down with you lot on a Monday night.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
I can relate to that because I'd stopped playing. I mean, I got to the stage where, like, you know, we was joking about being fat and slow, but I got to the stage where I was sub, and I was playing for the Railway, and there was younger and better players coming through, and I went and played for the Plough on Burton Road, and I can remember, and there was another local lad called Dave Cook. I don't know if you've heard of him. He was manager. No, his brother is Neil. He's ginger, but there's another lad, Dave Cook. He was managing. He said, "Just come
Dave.
Yeah,
From around the
here.
corner.
Yeah,
He lives on the road, on the top road.
yeah. I know. We know Dave. Yeah, my wife worked for him.
What, security?"
Yeah,
Okay, so Dave was managing, and he was like, "Just come and you know, just sit in the middle, sort of thing." And honestly, the game was passing me by, and I just thought, "That's it. I'm done. I can't do it. I'm gone. My legs are gone. Everything about it. My fitness was going anyway, but age caught up with me. And then, like you, for a long time, I didn't play, and then I saw I was working for a bloke called Roger, and he says, "Oh, I've got a dash. I'm going to football tonight." I said, "Bloody football at your age?" He's older than me. And he went, "Yeah, it's walking football." And I went, and I scoffed a little bit. I was a bit like, "What, walking?" And he went, "Come along, see what you think." And I was like, and I tell you what, Tracy was peeling me off the ceiling because I was buzzing that much. Because just loved getting back involved and playing. And
Was that when you started with?
When I first started with you, yeah.
Did you come after, or was I before you?
I'm not sure, mate. I think you was before me. I'm not sure.
So just to open the kimono, we all play football together on a Monday night, and it used to be walking football. It's actually gone now into running football. And I don't really know why it's gone into running football. I don't know if we should go back to walking football because fucking ankles.
Funny when you think about it, because we never did head high. You know, we did football. It was great.
It was a lot for mental health as well.
Yeah, we to cater for the people because we had, for example, do you remember Alan? Does
with a bad knee?
The old Alan, bless him. The one that got. Can you remember? I don't know if I was talking to you, but he drove out. So here's the story for you. When we finished football, I was like, "Yep, see you later, lads." And the next minute, so we're all talking in the car park. Next minute, car goes zooming through the car park, boot wide open, and so he's got this like a SUV thing. Anyway, so his boot is wide open. The whole tailgate's up in the air. And he's just driving, carefree. Didn't give a shit. And it's like,
way back to Sheffield.
Yeah, Al, mate, your boot. Oh, it's all right. And he's just gone. But he could hardly walk, bless him. I don't know whether he had heart problems. I think.
I think if it's the same one I'm thinking of, he'd had knee replacements.
He had a bit
He'd had-
oldish guy, probably had a white beard, yeah.
yeah, I think he had 2 knee replacements. I think
Yeah,
that
'cause
was what
I was telling Chris about him on Monday that he could literally, he was like literally jumping on the spot to walk, wasn't he? Sort of like
Yeah,
hopping.
yeah, it's the same guy. Yeah,
And we
Yeah,
had,
the
we had a special
the
warning that
standard's
if he had the
massively
ball, we couldn't tackle.
yeah. And to be fair, I mean, like I know we're sometimes we're all a bit like it, but he was literally, if you put a ball half a yard either side of him, he won't get in it
No.
because
And the
yeah,
worst thing is, he'd
he'd
always
just
say
come back
sorry.
from 2 knee replacements. That's what he'd done.
Yeah, and he'd always apologise, and it's like, mate, there's nothing to worry about. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, and it's like, but you can't get there,
Thank fuck I want there because
Oh,
know,
you
5
you
minutes.
just pulled your hair out, mate. With some
I'd have rinsed the fuck out of him for not getting on the end of a pass.
But I think when I don't know because I wasn't there at the initial setup of it all. But I think what it was mainly about was because it had been lockdown and stuff. I think
Yeah,
it was
we were playing
initially
after
set
lockdown.
up
We were
for
playing
the
before lockdown.
psychological thing, wasn't it?
It was a mental
was
health
all
thing, wasn't it?
it was all for the mental health. Yeah,
See, I started before the lockdown happened because Dom said to me, he says, oh, he says, you fancy it. And I obviously walking football. So I'm like, yeah, so I'd be like early 30s, mid 30s.
Has it been going on that long then?
Well, yeah. So what? So I'm 40 next month. And
so
obviously,
definitely, it was
COVID was 5 years
2020.
ago.
It was 2020 when I first went, June 2020,
Yeah.
just after lockdown.
So yeah, so obviously I was there before you because I was before lockdown. So I think I started about 2019. So I'd have been mid 30s. And when Dom said to me about going, obviously I was just like, don't be stupid, it'd be
Yeah.
crap, I'm young. I'm thinking I don't need to do walking football malarkey. And he said, no, he said, don't take the piss, come down and try it. So I thought, okay. So I went down, and you know what? It was a really good laugh. And I
Yeah.
thought maybe it is the way, it was the way.
I actually loved it, and that sounds funny. I love the walking football. I think for the year that I
I
went,
roped you into it, didn't I?
yeah, the year that I went and we did walking football, strictly walking football. I think possibly even before Chris started. I I got better. I felt I got better because it was all one touch,
It was all feet. It
one
was all
touch.
feet.
He went from really shit to shit.
Just yeah, but I think I prefer walking football. That sounds funny, but I do prefer it. And then you ain't got and with it being overhead height and the overhead height rule, I actually prefer it, and that's why because we got that ref, because we got that ref last week. There was a call. There was a call for
Yeah, I think we
for him to
probably
go back to
there's
walking.
maybe
I
a
reckon.
discussion to have about going back to walking football
But the
because
thing as well, I
it
think
was fun.
that head height thing, you're cutting out that long ball all the time, innit? Because
Yeah.
let's face it, we get people that stay up there and they're just like, oh, well, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to ping it up there. And it's just that one thing, and it's just like it's the most frustrating thing ever.
But it's good. It's good mentally, especially for lads our age who don't really, you know, I suppose when you finish at 35, 40, or whatever age you finish at now,
Well, yeah.
like, yeah, well, you know what I mean? Like,
I got finished what? I was 38, 39.
yeah, when you got finished, when you got bombed out. But no,
See that when you talk about penalty shootouts, right? So that was the last penalty shootout I was involved in, but obviously I was an unused sub.
you sort of-
And I had to stand and watch. It was like, why am I fucking here? Why have I even
the
bothered?
game, you watched the game pass you by like Daz did, but you were stood on the sideline.
Didn't really get a fucking chance, yeah.
No, but that's
And I'd have been quite. I think I'd have had an impact as well.
but at least we've got
But
what
anyway.
we've got. And I think this kind of talk and this kind of, if we could meet once a week and just talk about football, like we talked about, the reason why we do this is there's zero people online on no content for people just to talk about just normal blokes who have played at a shit level and, still maybe playing, still watching, still really passionate about it. You have I put that picture up of that Rory Jennings on and stuff like that. He's never fucking kicked a ball before. You've got and actually you've got all these fucking people now. They all played at Wembley was it Saturday? They played at Wembley. Like, did you see that? All the
It's
You
like
know,
a YouTuber thing.
Logan Paul and people out playing at Wembley. Like you think of the amount of fucking professional footballers who have dedicated their whole life to it, who have never played at Wembley.
Yeah.
And that's
I can remember entering a local, not a local, a national tournament, and the final was played at Wembley, and it was the Carling Cup. Hold on, let me think. It's either Carlsberg or Carling, but the pub stroke club you played for had to sell Carling or Carlsberg. I can't remember which one it was.
What
I
a
think it
sponsorship
Carling.
that is.
Right. So we went and each round, the first round you played, you got nothing. Second round, you got like training bibs. Third round, you started getting training equipment, blah blah blah. So
That's
we were
that, innit?
yeah,
Oh,
and
right.
but then obviously the final, you get to Wembley, and it was designed for amateurs, but because they dangled the carrot for Wembley, all these pub teams were getting semi-pros signing for him and playing for him, and started bringing the ringers in and all the rest of
I
it.
remember, did Collymore play in one?
I'm not sure.
I remember Julian Joachim playing in one. Do you remember there
Quite
was
easily.
something similar around when we were playing, and because Joachim was from Boston Money or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
There was-
it was. Yeah.
There was
And-
one that used to do leisure leagues, when leisure leagues was going. I know they're still going now, but when we used to play in leisure leagues down at NK, and then it was like just like we were getting older and stuff, and then we won the leagues and whatever, and then you go and you get like a free entry into like the national
That's right. Yeah.
tournament. So we did it about 3 or 4 years in a row, and it was down in Birmingham, and it was just good for a weekend. I mean, the football was kind of a byproduct of actually going to Birmingham for a weekend, but we played football there, and yeah, like that was it. Stan Collymore was in.
Yeah, that's right.
Playing leisure leagues, and like Stan
Playing
Collymore was in the one the year
Stan
before
Collymore.
or something, and it was
Give you an update, boys. Villa have just gone through and all.
they were smashing them, weren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
6
played
months.
and they've got Paris Saint-Germain now, PSG now, haven't they?
I'm sure that.
Here's
was
one
the
for you.
case.
We've either got Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid. That's gone into extra time now.
Has it?
Mm.
Jeez.
Do you know what? I think we'll lose to either.
Do you? Yeah, because you've got no fucking striker. You may as well
And
play
I'll tell
with
you,
10.
and
You may
also-
as well play with 10 men.
Going back to something new, two things you said earlier, James. Right? Chris
Yeah.
asked you, would you in the January would you have signed
Donkey,
Nunes? Right, but you got Havertz. He's equally as bad.
Yeah, what did you say then? That's it. Froze briefly. Sorry.
You signed Havertz, and he's equally as bad. But secondly,
But he's scoring goals, mate. He
one of the
scored goals.
one of the comments you made about Arsenal's history, they got this, they did that. You used the word lucky, right? Oh yeah, you got lucky. You tell me what team has won something without any luck.
Of course. 9 times out of 10, you're always going to say someone's lucky. And there is that element of luck. There has to be that element of something there.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is that it all comes down to, at the end of the day, is, yeah, you got the element of luck, but then it's a case of making the most of that luck and finishing that chance or whatever comes across.
Yeah. You create your own luck at times as well, don't you? I mean, like, look, everyone say last week how lucky Liverpool was, but
You look at what's it called? I'll tell you.
Alisson was absolutely awesome on his day.
Yeah. I mean, you look at. So right. So I think the craziest moment I can remember for me was the 2006 Champions League final against Barcelona. You know, I was adamant.
Arsenal.
Yeah, I was like, we'll win this. I think just, and then it was a case of everything just went fucking wrong, and it was like the element of luck obviously was not with. Well, everything was unlucky. You know, the sending off was bollocks, and I might even.
Was it Sol Campbell? No, he got sent off.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was Sol Campbell, was it? Was it Sol Campbell? Jens Lehmann was in goal, wasn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah, that's right.
And
Is that when you wore yellow?
Yeah, that's
So-
when they wore yellow. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, and then we went, and it was just shit because I can remember. The funny thing is, I've never cried at football, never, and I cried, and I punched my mum and dad's wall, and there's a knuckle print above the light switch in my mum and dad's living room from where I punched the wall.
It must have been hollow plaster. There's no way you punched a proper wall and put a dent in it. Not with those. Not with those.
Chris, have you ever cried at football?
Yeah, Oldham, Norwich drew 1-1 last game of the season. We got relegated from the Premier League.
Andy?
I was
Yeah,
like
we
11.
were away at Boston last week.
Yeah, yeah.
0-0, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, reduced me to tears.
No, but I mean physically, have you physically, emotionally
Oh yeah,
cried?
yeah, lots.
Yeah, when I get put on James's team on a Monday night, that's when I cry on the inside.
Here's one for you, right?
Not that bad.
One Saturday afternoon, Euros, Stuart Pearce bangs his penalty in.
What, did you cry at that?
Ah, fucking hell, my chin was wobbling, tears were streaming down my face, uncontrollable. He couldn't do anything about it, mate, because he turned around to the crowd, didn't he? Because it was the year after he missed that penalty, or 2 years after he missed that penalty. And he turned around and you could see all of his anger and emotion come out. And I just sat there and there was tears streaming down my face. Couldn't work out why. Well, I could work out why, because the emotion and all that. And my ex-wife come in, Lisa come in, and she'd been shopping. And she looked at me and she said, "What's up with you?" And I went, "You won't understand." She went to try me. I said, "You just won't understand. You won't understand." Anyway, the game finished, and like they're doing the adverts and all the rest of it. So I explained to her what the situation was. I said, "He missed the penalty in the World Cup, blah, blah, blah. He's just scored a penalty." So I don't know why, it's just got to me, and the emotions just got to me. Anyway, come back on again, showed you again, and we both sat there fucking roaring. She sat and looked at it, and we was both sat there roaring.
There's,
So
none
it was
of
really
that. There's none of that now, though, is there? There's none of that now. I don't see the same thing now.
passion.
Yeah, I just don't see it anymore. It's too clinical now, isn't it? It's overworked, isn't it? No.
It is, yeah. But there's lots of elements I feel that's taken it away, and VAR is one of them.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah, but you know what? People cry. How many used like match of the day used to be, I don't know, an hour of highlights and 30 minutes fucking complaining about the referee decisions. So you bring something in that corrects that, and then you complain about the fucking thing that's corrected the referee. Like, it's not going to win. But I just think it's too clinical now. There's
I think the problem you
no
get.
characters.
I think the thing with the VAR, which is frustrating, is the fact it takes nearly 7 to 10 minutes for a bloody UK-based guys to go, "I'm not quite sure. Let's just draw some lines across the screen." Yet you have all this advanced technology where you can get an instant decision in like a minute, and yet we just piss ball around, fucking sit there having a cup of tea, dunking some biscuits, and say, "Yeah, he's offside. See you later."
Took 7 minutes one week, didn't it?
You're probably right, but
You'd be surprised how long VAR takes. It's ridiculous in
I'm
the
talking
UK.
more from the clinic. I'm just talking more from like a personality standpoint. There's no personality anymore. There's no personalities in the. We talked about under the cosh. We talked about that kind of level of thing. Now, if you move the gate, if you move it on 10, 15 years, who the fuck are they going to be interviewing? Like who are they going to interview?
Robots. You've already said
Salah. Like, great.
What was quite cool actually the other day, and it is a player from a blast from the past, right? I ranted and raved. I used to love watching the clips of this bloke, and he was on under the cosh the other day, I think, or a bit ago. Lee Trundle. Do you remember Lee Trundle?
Still playing.
Still scoring.
Yeah, 6 in 4 or something, isn't it?
What an absolute what a magician with his feet. Unbelievable.
But again, he was a personality, wasn't he? Soccer AM created that personality, didn't they?
Yeah, they loved him. He was a proper showboater.
There's none of it now. Like, you think of Xander, who's Andrew's son Xander, who's 13, your son who's what, 8?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who the fuck are they looking up to now? Who are the I love Gaza.
Oh, mate.
But he was a personality, right? He was a personality. I love Gaza. He was great, great.
My all-time hero. My all-time hero.
Yeah, he was mine. But who is it now? Like, you said, Leanne Trossard.
Yeah, Josh loves Trossard, and he also so basically there's 3 players he really loves. obviously the number that he's got on his shirt for obviously my team, number 7, which is Saka. Loves Saka. He likes Big Rice, and he loves Trossard.
See, Declan Rice, he's a really good player, but I liked Gaza because of his personality. Because he looked like he had fun on a football pitch. Like, when's the last time anybody had fun on a football pitch?
One of
You
my
listen to all them legendary stories, mate. They're unbelievable, aren't they?
Yeah,
You know,
none of it now, though, were you?
Yeah.
as me as a
When he was playing for, I think he was playing for Everton, apparently. And you must have heard the story where the ball's gone over the fence. So he jumped. He said, "I'll get it." He jumps over the fence.
Yeah, it didn't come back.
Disappears.
Yeah.
And then 24 hours later, to the minute near enough, he jumps back over the fence, says, I've got it, lads, I've got it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like genius stuff. But, you know, most
Have you heard
people
the
are
story?
shitting
It's
themselves now.
Gaza, isn't it?
Can't do
McCoist.
that, can't do that.
Have you had the firework one?
Go
Well,
on, I've heard loads of them.
Yeah, so basically, let a firework off miles away, and McCoy basically McCoy's dirty. And he rang up and said, "What do you think to that one?" Sort of thing. It's like stuff like that. You'll never get anyone.
No.
I'll tell you what, when you look back at like players who had that Gaza sort of kind of style, the only person you could really compare it to is like a guy that basically set a load of fireworks off in his bathroom, which is Balotelli.
I know, but he was ridiculed for doing shit like that, wasn't
He's
he?
not being funny. I think
Yeah,
literally
but
he has got
then
screw
the next
loose.
day, he went into a petrol station and paid for everybody's petrol in the
Yeah,
forecourt.
he did, yeah. And he was driving around in his, what was he driving around in his Aston Martin dressed as Santa, chucking bags of cash out his car?
Yeah,
Like,
crazy man.
yeah,
Character,
but he's ridiculed. He was ridiculed out of the best thing about Balotelli, and I know all the story, the best thing about Balotelli for me, and was him in that friend. Have you seen him in that friendly?
Yeah. The
Where
back
he
heel.
just he's clean through on goal. I think we're playing in America against some like rag arse Rovers, and he's clean through on goal. And instead of shooting, he just tries a back heel flick and just it goes wide. And he fucking
Just
took him off.
horribly wrong.
He said you're not playing because he just couldn't be bothered. He was just like he just tried a back heel. But that for me is a bit because you know he showed a bit of fucking character. Like there's no
Yeah.
it's the Mourinho story for a minute where he got booked. They had no strikers on the bench and they're playing in Dinamo Zagreb or something in the Champions League, and they needed a draw to go through, and it was 0-0 at half time from when he was at Inter Milan. And he came in at half time, and Mourinho said 14 and a half minutes of the 15-minute halftime team talk was Mario, please do not get booked. Do not tackle anybody. Do not tackle him. He said for 14 and a half minutes, he said on the way back out to the pitch, I was in his ear, don't get booked. Don't tackle anyone. Don't get booked. He said 47 minutes, second yellow card. But who is that now?
Yeah.
Not in the
Who's
game
that
anymore.
now? When Mika Richards is classed as a fucking personality, you know you're on the
He just sits and
scraping the
laughs.
barrel.
He don't bring anything to the table. He just sits and laughs.
No,
I quite
there's
like
not-
Big Meats. I think there's something about. I don't know. He's just a character. He's a bit of a character. He's a bit, I think he's just a bit different.
He's seen that one where Keane ridicules him when he says about when I burst onto the scene. Roy Keane looks at him and went, "What? You actually burst onto the scene?
Yeah.
When did that happen?"
Yeah,
But you look at Roy Keane, right? Roy Keane is probably the most beloved, like football pundit, right? Like I will sit and listen to Roy Keane talk. Like I will actually,
Yeah.
I won't listen to Carragher really. I think he's so fucking pro Liverpool, and I get it, but he is, and Neville and all that. But Roy Keane, I'll sit and listen to because
Roy
he's
Keane's
the
on
only one.
And he knows what he's talking about half
But
the
he's
time.
the only one who is the only one who
Says it how it is.
say the real shit. Not scared of
Says it
saying.
how it is.
But there's no characters in football. None. No characters. There's just
Going back-
no personality in football at all.
Going back to characters with Gaza, the best story I heard was that one when he knew where McAllister kept his Ali McCoy, sorry, kept his spare key. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, he let himself in the house and he was making himself a sandwich.
In his house.
He had to go down, didn't he? Because his wife hear a noise or something. So he went downstairs thinking, "Oh
Yeah.
shit!" But then
He had a golf club in his hand and everything ready to spank Gaza, and he was making a sandwich.
It was the other one, wasn't it? It was. Have you heard this will be the last one, but the Andy Townsend one. Have you heard that?
Go
So,
on.
so basically, he had 6 cups, Gaza did, in his house that were like just lined up dead straight, like all the time. And Andy Townsend was at his house, and Andy Townsend, when he played at Middlesbrough, and Andy Townsend lived in Birmingham. So on his way out, he basically handed him a coffee and said, "Here's a coffee cup. Here's a coffee for your drive home back to Birmingham." So he drove home with his coffee. He got home to Birmingham with his coffee. He gets a call from Gaz at 10 o'clock at night saying, "You still got a coffee cup?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah. I brought it home with me. So I'll bring it back to you next week when I come back up." He went, "Okay, no worries." He said 3 o'clock in the morning, he got a bang on his door. It was Jimmy Five Bellies. And Gaza had sent Jimmy Five Bellies to go get this coffee cup because he couldn't sleep without this coffee cup, his 6th coffee cup being in his house. So
Wow.
Jimmy Five Bellies had driven to Birmingham from Middlesbrough at like 11 o'clock at night just to get a coffee cup. And then he went, "Here you go then," and just drove, and he drove home, drove back.
It's mad.
Oh,
You don't get none of that nowadays. 'Cause I can remember I did an evening with Paul Mercer, and after shit they did, like when they'd do a bet, they'd put like cash on the table.
Oh yeah, I know this is brilliant.
Yeah. And then basically have loads of red wine or whatever it was,
And sleeping pills.
sleeping pills.
Last one to
Last
wake
one
up
to
wins.
sleep wins the cash.
Last one to go to sleep wins the cash.
Mental, you never do anything like that.
No, but who is going to tell? What story is going to come out? What are they going to talk about? They talk about how Klopp was really passionate and how Arteta talked about his fucking. What was the thing he talked about on that program? The brain is connected to the heart or something, wasn't it? Or some fucking like Ben White was like that. Like so, cut to Ben White and he's like, not a clue, mate. There's no one. There's no one. And that's football for me is boring. It's boring now. It's entertaining. I watch it.
Yeah.
Watch it. But actually, if you delve a bit deeper past the actual football itself,
No Jimmy Bullards and stuff like that, is there?
Pretty
Remember
shit,
Jimmy
isn't
Bullard?
it?
He was a bit of a
I
character.
think nowadays though, I think it depends on where you fit and where you want to fit because you've got the Premier League and then you're going down into the Championship and the lower leagues and then even going to watch non-league football and even going to watch park football. It's the same thing, but it's completely different and it's where you fit. I think it's where you
Mm.
fit. It's like watching
Oh,
F1. It's like watching Formula One. It's
Yeah.
very different to stock cars, but it is just
yeah.
driving around a track. It's still the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you just got nothing to hang your hat on. Like there's nothing to kind of who's the
Do you know what?
heroes
I,
nowadays?
I think I get where you're going with it, but I think that's why that championship's more exciting. You look at your Leeds, your
I
Sheffield
don't know.
Uniteds.
It's always the same fucking teams just going back and forth, isn't it?
It's
It's
just
always
it's
the
money,
same.
isn't it?
Same.
It's money. Money talks,
Yeah,
doesn't
of
it?
course
Every
it is.
league, money talks.
But that's just made football really clinical and really just
Well, that's it. The sport's now been turned into a business, really, when you think about it. When we watched it, it was more of a sport, not a business.
yeah.
And then you get all of a sudden these stupid people investing loads of money, throwing cash here, left, right, and centre for players. It's just ridiculous.
But you look at like Yamal. You look at Yamal and he's raved about. I, I'm sure I've seen 30 Yamals like over my time. Quick, fast, nippy wingers who can cut inside and hit one. Like Arjen Robben was that 15 years ago. Like
He used to
he
cut
was,
back. Always the same trick with Robin as well. He'd always
yeah,
cut back.
but like
Top
it was
corner.
so void of anything now that Yamal's now talked about like he's the best player in the world or going to be the best player in the world or going to be like he's not doing anything different to what I didn't see 15, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Tony Daly, there's one. He was as good as Tony Daly. I loved
Morning
Tony
show.
Daly as a kid from Villa. Loved him.
Yeah.
But no, it's yeah. So I think what do you think? End there and we'll pick it up next week.
Yeah.
About 3:30. It's about half
We
three
do
in
the
the morning,
agenda.
isn't
I
it?
can't believe it's
We're going to do
10:15
the
at night.
agenda.
I can't believe you're not in bed yet.
Mate, you've been,
He's
have you
ready.
gone
Don't get
about
me wrong. When
45
it's
times?
like jumping straight off, pajamas on.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
he-
He's already got the jammers on. It's just jumper off.
that's it.
he's got
That's it.
wheels on his chair. He's getting closer to the door like
come on. Oh, I was there. Come here, mate. Bedtime, baby.
that. Thank you for the first one. It's been great, and we'll
Are we
catch up
going to
soon.
do like an agenda for next one then?
Yeah, I think so.
I would like to put that one forward that we spoke about earlier, Chris. If
Yeah, I
that's
think
all
so.
right.
Yeah, we'll get Daz wants to talk about some youth football, and with obviously we've got two youth coaches here, so that's probably the best. You're the best people to talk to, and we'll get on it. But yeah, no, it's been
Not
great.
like youth coach, but yeah, we're
It's
there.
been great, and we'll speak and we'll do another one next week.
Is there somewhere where people can leave reviews and comments and
Hey,
ask
you should like.
questions?
To be fair, Darren, it's a good thing you asked that because you should really like and subscribe to the channel if you like the content, which is probably the
God.
worst fucking thing I've
You know what?
ever said.
The last
I'm
time,
here.
the last
Here.
time I was on YouTube or like on a podcast was when Oldham got relegated into the National League.
So it's an omen then. They're on the way back up now.
Yeah, they're on the way back up. Yeah, fourth now we are. Fourth in the league. Fourth in the league, and all the fans want the chairman and the manager out. Fourth in the league.
Me.
He wants it's not players, it's manager. There you go. That's next week's agenda. We'll talk on that next week.
Chris, you
Also,
got
I'll
to
tell you
dodge
what,
forward.
guys. I'll tell you another something comical. The reason why it was hard to put Josh down to sleep earlier, because as soon as I mentioned to Sam, well, I'm gonna have a chat with Chris and Andy and Daz and that. He says, "Oh, what is it?" I said, "You know, we might look at for a giggle, do a bit of a podcast, just a random chit chat." And he's like, "You're gonna go on YouTube?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, and so all of a sudden, Josh is buzzing. So he's like, "But if you get like 100,000 views, you're gonna get one of these like little play tabs and everything." I was like, "Josh, you're going a bit too far, mate."
Ruby did. Ruby asked if I said, "Are you now a YouTuber?"
Well, see, Evie said the same thing. And do you know what? Evie's even watched the YouTube clip of us playing football. She went, "Daddy, I've liked it, but it's not working because I've not got an account. Shall I make one?" It's like, "No, Evie, you don't need to make an account. But I've liked it, Daddy, anyway." But then I'm gonna look, is there any way we can look at it in the morning for you and Chris and I love talking? I was like, maybe, I don't know.
I'd rather them watch us than some bloke called Angry Ginge.
Yeah.
That would probably be, I just feel like we're probably better role models than some ginger mank.
Apart from swearing, obviously.
Swear? Do you know people in the real world swear?
Apparently so. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I'm all for swearing because literally I have the worst potty mouth ever. But obviously in front of my kids, I try and rein that in a bit. Obviously,
Yeah, well, I'm sure they'll watch it anyway. Yeah. Anyway, guys, have a good one. I will speak to you all soon.
Be a pleasure.
Good night,
Like and
fellas.
subscribe. Andrew, you say it.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. I'm the most uncomfortable guy ever. I'm so stuffy. It's untrue. Like
When he'll say, but I'm
yeah, I'll get it wrong.
Take care, everybody.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Bye-bye.